It was during my second semester on campus when I learned about the midnight goat. It was a story passed down by upperclassmen, a warning told in hushed tones. Supposedly a goat would appear near the old biology building at night, and anyone who saw it would disappear within 3 days. I didn't believe it. Our campus had its share of legends, but this one felt ridiculous. I only remembered it because of that night. I had stayed late in the campus observatory to finish a group project. By the time I packed up, it was nearly midnight. The sky was clear, the path dimly lit by the glow of the campus lampposts. I decided to take the shortcut past the old biology building to save time. The building itself was abandoned years ago after a fire damaged much of its interior. As I passed by, I heard something, a faint bleating sound. I froze. The sound was too clear to mistake. Soft, but unmistakable. Must be someone messing around, I muttered, trying to convince myself. But curiosity got the better of me. Turned toward the sound, and there it was, a goat, standing completely still in the shadows near the building steps. Its fur was black as coal, its eyes reflecting the faint light like twin embers. It didn't move, didn't flinch, just stared at me. Felt a shiver crawl up my spine, but I told myself it was just some lost farm animal. Maybe it had wandered over from the rural outskirts of town. I took a step closer. Hey, buddy, what are you doing here? I called out softly, trying to sound braver than I felt. Goat's head tilted, almost like it understood me. Then it stepped forward, and that's when I noticed its hooves. They weren't normal. They left scorch marks on the pavement. My breath hitched. The goat stopped suddenly. The goat let out a deep, unnatural bleat. It echoed in my ears, vibrating through my body. The streetlights flickered and then went out, plunging the area into darkness. I turned and ran, my heart pounding. The sound of hoofs followed me, slow at first, then impossibly fast. I could feel its presence behind me, the air growing hotter with every step. When I reached my dorm, I slammed the door shut and locked it. I didn't bother keeping a paddling hull. My roommate looked up from his desk, startled. "What's wrong?" he asked, his voice filled with concern. "There was a goat," I stammered, struggling to catch my breath. His face went pale. "Did it see you?" The question caught me off guard. "What? What do you mean?" He swallowed hard. "That's the midnight goat. If it saw you..." He didn't finish the sentence. I laughed nervously, trying to brush it off, but his fear was contagious. That night, I barely slept. The next day, things got weirder. My phone wouldn't stop glitching, flickering between static and an image of those glowing eyes. My reflection in mirrors seemed delayed, moving a second slower than I did. And then there were the scorch marks, small, blackened circles that appeared outside my dorm door. The third day, I was a wreck. I stayed locked in my room, too terrified to go outside. But as midnight approached, a strange calm washed over me. Maybe it was resignation. Maybe I was too tired to keep running. The great God so long saluted me, and I moved on. To the very end of the pier. Exactly 12:01, I heard the bleating again, this time right outside my window. I didn't want to look, but I pulling back the curtain. In dark room. At night, I saw it, standing on the lawn below, staring straight up at me, its limbs contorted, elongating into something grotesque. The air around it rippled like heat waves. Then, in a voice that wasn't a voice at all, it spoke. "You've been warned." Before I could scream, the goat vanished, leaving behind only the smell of burning flesh. I didn't disappear. But nothing has been the same since. I transferred schools a week later, but sometimes, late at night, I hear faint hoofbeats outside my window. I don't dare look.